Jesus spoke spiritually, not grammatically, when he said in John 3:13 that no one has ascended to heaven but he. The Bible clearly names people who went to heaven. None of them gave tithes. That is the only thing they all had in common. Jesus is the most notable example. He did not give or receive tithes. He took along with him to heaven a repentant thief on the cross, who also did not give tithes. Luke 23:32-43. Many preachers lie about tithes. They must note that in Luke 19:1-10, Jesus showed via Zacchaeus that they must return the money they collect falsely from other people. Some prosperity gospel preachers have lied that you will not go to heaven if you don't pay tithes. That's a lie. The biblical evidence shows people had gone to heaven even when they did not pay tithes. And I just said Jesus is the most notable example, plus the repentant thief on the cross. A prosperity gospel preacher also said recently that you disobey God if you don't give tithes, and as such will not go to heaven. That's a lie. But we must obey God. I repeat, for reason of emphasis, we must obey God. Moses disobeyed God. Numbers 20:1-13. But to show the supremacy of grace and that everything is dependent on grace, not money or works, Moses went to heaven. Jesus chose Elijah and Moses of all people to appear with him during his transfiguration. Matthew 17:1-9, Mark 9:2-13, Luke 9:28-36. Moses and Elijah did not give tithes. Tithes no longer apply under Jesus' grace covenant. Therefore, not giving tithes is not disobedience. Even in Old Testament times when tithes applied, grace remained supreme. And everything was dependent on grace. Genesis 5:24 says Enoch went to heaven. Enoch did not give tithes. In Luke 16:22-26, Jesus referred to Lazarus and Abraham in heaven. Lazarus did not give tithes. In Matthew 8:11, Jesus mentioned Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Genesis chapter 14 shows that Abraham gave 10% just once, and only from the gains from a particular war. He did not take the remaining 90%. And Abraham never gave any tithe from his vast wealth. Isaac did not give tithes, and God blessed Isaac abundantly, just as he also blessed Abraham abundantly. Jacob vowed to build an altar and give a tithe if God granted his requests. God did, but Jacob never gave any tithe. Crucially, God reminded Jacob to build the altar, but did not remind him to give the tithe. And I think that says it all. God even blessed Jacob more abundantly and changed his name from Jacob to Israel. Genesis 28:20-22 and Genesis 35:1-14. Other people went to heaven but are not clearly named. For example, Philippians 4:3 refers to people whose names are in the book of life. They did not give tithes. Jesus told his disciples he would prepare a place for them in his Father's house where there are many mansions. This excluded Judas because of what Jesus had said about his betrayal. Jesus' disciples and the early church did not give or receive tithes. Preachers lie when they quote Malachi 3:10 that God blesses you when you give tithes. Malachi 3:10 and related scriptures on your works are not standalone scriptures. They are all dependent on grace. It's like quoting Matthew 7:7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. Other scriptures show conclusively that you will not be blessed just because you give money, or because you ask, or because you seek, or because you knock. Only grace guarantees all blessings. To show that grace is supreme and that grace is not for sale, God did two vitally important things. One, God ensured that everyone clearly named in the Bible as having gone to heaven did not give tithes. So nobody can link giving money or their own works with going to heaven. Two, God blesses believers and unbelievers so that everyone, especially blessed unbelievers who know they do not deserve God's blessings, will see his gracious goodness and then turn to him. Exodus 33:19, Matthew 5:45, Romans 2:4, and Romans 9:15. Other scriptures support this as well. The repentant thief on the cross exemplifies grace. Of all people, he was the only person Jesus took personally with him to heaven after his time on earth. Yes, grace is supreme. And yes, grace is not for sale. May God remember you too for grace. Kindly please share this video. Many thanks. I am Dr. Innocent Izamoje.